This is Andy Poroff. Boxing News, I'm joined by promoter Eddie Hearn here in San Francisco. Eddie, you're a busy man. I always seem to be at the back of the queue these days.
Well, you've got to position yourself better in the queue. I saw you have a little moan like you like to do, Andy, because earlier on I was going, this is it for now, guys, I'll get you guys later. You were like, but because you're in a bad queue position.
I never said anything, I walked up.
You were like, oh, it wasn't a big moan, but what I'm saying is you've got to improve your queue position. Because as I look down the queue, you were about number 6. And you had these other slippery characters like IFL, who Boxing Social, they just nipped in. Do you know what I mean? But you got there.
Got there in the end. And here we are, San Francisco. Eddie, massive fight, Devin Haney, Ruiz-Joshua, brilliant build-up. What have you made of it all, just watching it from afar up until coming in?
I mean, I don't think it could have gone any better on any level. This has been a real example of a pure promotion. A lot of luck as well, and I think you need that in life. We came to San Francisco like that, and we had it off. The first ever fight at the Chase Center. There hasn't been a big fight in San Francisco for decades. We're going to be sold out, 16,000. The fight's compelling, the content's compelling, the narrative's compelling, and it's a really good fight. And I think, it's what we need. And it's a big moment for us in America, to be honest with you.
Raised to Regis, his comments to you previously where he said that he feels like you're backing Devin as he's your boy. What have you made of Regis kind of sticking at that narrative?
I think it's fair. I mean, I'm not backing Devin, but I've got a long relationship with him. We worked over the last 4 or 5 years. We had a dream together for him to be undisputed. He achieved that. We know he had to step away. He promised me he'd come back to Matchroom. He did that. But also, like Ruiz-Joshua, I had a promise to him as well that I would give him a homecoming and then a mega fight. I've delivered for him. And at this moment, I let them fight. I don't support anyone in the ring. I don't jump up and down because I never do when there's 2 fighters of mine in a fight. And made a best man win. Devin's got a chance to become a superstar of the sport, and Regis has got a chance to propel himself with all the big names, which is what he's wanted to do for a long time.
Most people are tipping Devin to have his hand raised, Eddie. Do you think about overlooking the challenges of Regis-Prograis?
I do, and I see a different Regis-Prograis. Against Zorilla, I think a lot of people will take from the Zorilla fight. I think Regis was probably a little bit undermotivated. I didn't think he had any fear factor in that fight. I think he's trained like a beast for this fight. I saw him yesterday, and I saw a guy who, he fancies it. There's so many questions, how good is Devin's chin up at 140 against a puncher? Is the additional weight, which we know Devin's been, killing himself to make 135, is that going to make him a different fighter? Can Regis deal with the skill of Devin Haney? Can Devin Haney deal with the power of Regis-Prograis? Like, Regis has got to get into this fight real quick, and he's got a set about him. Easier said than done, but thrilling fight.
I know you can't look too far into the future, but speaking to Frank yesterday, he said that the most logical move for either man tomorrow night, on Saturday night, whoever has the hand raised, is the Ryan Garcia fight. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, natural fight. I mean, again, same platform. Like, the zone should be saying to Golden Boy, you have to make that fight. And listen, Ryan Garcia against either on Saturday night is a thriller. And it's a massive fight for him. It's a massive fight for boxing. You've seen what we've done here. Bring Ryan Garcia into that mix. It's the logical fight to make, but a lot depends on how the victor wins on Saturday night. If Devin Haney goes in there and looks spectacular, I don't think Oscar De La Hoya will take that fight. If someone squeaks by, they got hurt, they got up, they look beatable, I think they'll be straight in for the fight.
What did you make of Ryan's performance this past weekend?
Good. I respect what Ryan's done, because to do that under the kind of mental pressure he was under with people against him, quite amazing. I thought he might lose to Duarte, because I just looked at the press conference and all the social media and just thought, how can you expect this kid to perform? And he did, and that was a big fight for him, because if he lost that fight, he was fucked.
Teofimo Lopez is another name I want to bring up, because they've had a lot of back and forths over the years. I remember being at the Garcia-Sandor Martin fight when Lopez and Devin kicked off with each other. I was trying to get your thoughts on where Teofimo Lopez stands in the potential rankings there for a fight.
Listen, Teofimo, amazing fighter, great character, deluded as well in terms of his commercial value, and he has a go at me saying, oh, you don't pay fighters right. We do, absolutely we do. We pay fighters right, and we pay it on time, every time. But we pay in relation to the revenue that those fighters bring to the show. We know the numbers like the back of our hand. You can't just pull a number out of the sky and say, I'm worth 10 million, when the right number's 2 or 2.5. Right? I understand negotiation, I understand a fighter, and they should get everything they deserve, but we ain't going to sit there and do millions of dollars by giving you a number that you pluck from the sky. Now, if you want a mega fight, if Teofimo wants to come in and fight the winner of this fight, understand, huge fight, huge numbers. but very frustrating because he should have boxed again. He could have boxed twice. But it's like Deontay Wilder. They want to sit on the bench because they think they're worth so much more, and then they get inactivity, waiting for a miracle. Deontay got his miracle, but he also will go into a fight with no activity.
What do you make of Deontay's comments that he feels that you guys don't want to make the fight because you don't want to lose effectively your money man of a company?
Make money out of Joshua being in a poor fight. This is where they don't use their brain. If we're all about the money, we want to make the biggest fights for AJ. That's where we're going to make our money. You know, we can do a 2-fight deal with Wilder or whatever it's going to be. Fantastic financially for us. I don't really care about the money. I care about the right moves for Anthony Joshua. That is beat Otto Wallin and then go and knock Deontay Wilder out twice. That's what we're going to do, but we've got to win on the 23rd, and Wilder should know that we're doing everything we can to make that fight, and he'll get his wish if he beats Joseph Parker. Make sure you keep to your side of the deal, and I like Joseph, and secretly I want him to win, but I don't really, because then we lose that fight. But that ain't easy, especially being out for so long.
4 years ago today, Eddie, AJ defeated Andy Ruiz in the rematch.
Was it? Yeah. 4 years today. That was a big night, massive night. I remember, just as you said that, I remember when they were reading out the scorecards, I was just looking at AJ and he was across there, and it was like, fuck me, we needed that. Because if he lost that fight, mate, the shit was going to hit the fan. There's a lot of pressure that night. I feel like people always look at excuses, don't they? Oh, Andy Ruiz coming overweight. Oh, Joshua boxed to an absolute precise game plan that night to win every single round. But you know what everyone said after he got stopped? Whatever you do, don't take the rematch. Build him back up. And he went in and he schooled him, won every single round, and still it wasn't good enough for some people.
Amazon Prime, PBC, your thoughts?
Yeah, I don't know the financials of the deal, but on the outset, brilliant for boxing. You know, another broadcaster, more competition, great for everyone. I mean, we are where we are in a tremendous long-term deal with DAZN, who are flying in boxing. The numbers are fantastic worldwide. And now you have another broadcaster coming in. I don't know if they're spending money or it's a rev share or whatever it is, but, you know, injecting more into the sport, and you know, the more broadcasters the better.
Just sticking with a broadcaster front, obviously Showtime's last show next weekend. Julio Cesar Martinez has been announced for that. Can you just tell me a little bit about that? Are you guys working together anymore?
Not really. I mean, you know, we lost a purse bid for Julio Cesar Martinez to fight, and we tried to make the Sonny Edwards fight. They wanted a fortune for the fight, and you know, I don't feel like he's been active enough. So I'm looking forward to seeing him back, and then hopefully we can make the winner of next week against Julio Cesar Martinez, because really that's the only fight for him.
Of course, kind of Ben Eubank Jr. speaking to Frank again yesterday said probably by the end of this week, if not move on to new targets. Agree with that? Where do things are?
Probably Sunday or Monday. If we don't get the fight made, the fight's off. There's only one person stopping the fight right now, that's Eubank Jr., and he's driving a hard bargain, which we expect him to. The money's huge, and I hope that he accepts the fight, but we'll see over the next few days.
Something on that, he seems to be coming down to the financial elements. Is he just kind of trying to prolong it for as long as possible up until that deadline, maybe to squeeze as much as he can?
I think the last negotiations took 9 weeks to get the deal done. So we're at a similar time period now. Hopefully it's a same path.
Waiting to hear back from the board as well. Anything yet?
No, I mean, again, it's up to the board what they do. We're doing the fight. If we get it made, February the 3rd, Spurs.
PBA into the equation?
Oh, we'll see. We'll see. Hopefully the British Boxing Board of Control, but whatever it takes to bring a massive fight to Britain.
Just final one, Ryder Munguia.
Yeah, great fight, Jan 27 in Phoenix. I'm so pleased Johnny Ryder's getting what he deserves out of the sport. Great bloke, and I believe he wins that fight. We'll be there in full to support him and get a big win for British boxing.
Eddie, appreciate your time.
Cheers, thank you.